heard this song, Max? Have you ever heard Dropkick Murphys?
I think I've heard it once or twice.
It's in a movie called The Departed. Oh. It's a movie called The Departed, which is, for me, top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Love The Departed. So when I heard it, how many years did that movie come out? 10, 15? No, probably like 20 years ago now. I
was in middle school, so
it was a minute ago. I said, if I ever have a show, this would be good bumper music. This would be a good song. So that's why it's been out here. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I happen to like it. It puts me in a good mood. It's Gaardsy in for Barrero. One more time. We are here until 6:15 tonight. Max Fuller is with us as well. We've got a bevy of people helping us out today. We will do the pick segment at 3:30 with Carl Gerbschmidt. Ben Gessling's going to stop by studio about 4:15 to preview Vikings Packers. Russo Radio is coming in studio at 5 o'clock, which I'm excited about, especially with the buzzkill news that Kirill Kaprizov, like Russo, is not in Dallas. Like any of us, is not in Dallas. He did not make the trip as the Wild pick up the season after their Christmas break. So we'll get to the bottom of that with Russo. And then Lavelle E. Neal III will join at 5:45. We'll talk a lot of Vikings-Packers. We'll obviously talk some Wolves. Max and I will, as the two people on Run It Back Island a year ago who are drowning right now in the season that is. Yeah. There's not much howling with any homies.
There's no hooties are being hooed this season.
The hootie has yet to be hooed, or the hoos have yet to be hootied. I don't know.
The shirt is fully on. Matter of fact, I got layers on.
I've never seen you so fully clothed.
Yeah, but I got snow pants on.
That's the kind of Wolves season that it has been. So a lot to get to. The Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line is 64686, but I need to get something off my chest because I fear that this is going to haunt me. At least until midnight tonight. Maybe a little bit later. I don't know. I've got an appearance like you do. You have an appearance at Casper's tonight.
I do indeed. Casper's in Eagan. Come hang out with you. But we got dueling Wolves watch parties.
Yeah, because I have one at Tom's Watch Bar at 7 o'clock, downtown Minneapolis. So you and I are both hitting the ground right after this and heading out to hang with the listeners, which I'm excited about. But I'm worried I'm going to be distracted. So I did the Enough Said TV show with Pierre Nugent today, who's in for Dan because Dan's still off. Dan will be back next week. So Pierre Nugent from Fox 9 Sports, who a lot of times when I fill in, will come in here and just light the world on fire for like an hour and just complain about everything Minnesotan because he's not one of us. I didn't do that today. I probably should have. It would have been fun. I love having Pierre in, mostly because he just explodes the inbox with his controversial opinions on different things. So I'm doing the Enough Said show with Lori Fisher. I was off last week. It's on tonight, 7:30 on the Plus, 11 o'clock on Fox 9. And we get done with the show, and I'm kind of going through the usual routine before I come back in here. And I needed to get some gas for my car. It was, 30 miles to empty or whatever it is. And I go to the Holiday in Eden Prairie. I don't remember if it's Prairie Center Drive or where is it. And I'm filling up with gas, and I see on the marquee at the Holiday, I'm reminded that the Mega Millions is up to what? $1.15 billion, I think, is what the current Mega Millions jackpot is.
Yeah, something insane.
It's over $1 billion. And so I say, well, I'm here. I'm at the gas station. I should probably run in there. Let's see if I have any cash.
Yeah.
Because you still need cash to work the lottery. So I look around. I've got $5. Said, perfect. 2 tickets. I'll get $1 back. What could possibly go wrong? So I go in there. First of all, I'm not the only person trying to win the $1 billion jackpot. The line reminds me of like when there's a show at the Armory that it's like a teenage singer that Zach Halverson wants to see, and he lines up at the Armory at like 4 a.m. You know what I'm talking about? He does it constantly. The latest teen sensation that Halvey can't get enough of on his iHeartRadio playlist, which the app's about to be updated, by the way, which everybody should get down with.
#1 on the Halvey Hot 100.
Yes. So I'm waiting like Halvey outside the Armory, and I get up to the cash register, to the checkout. And the guy's name is Dave, and he's joking with everybody. He's in a great mood. Everybody's buying tickets. He was making fun of some people that earlier asked him if he'd sold any. And it's like, yeah, dude, I've been here since 6:30. Everybody's buying tickets to this thing. So I walk up and I say, I'll take 2 Mega Millions. Person in front of me, same thing. I'll take 2 Mega Millions. He walks over, does the quick pick, comes back with 3 slips.
Oh.
$2, $4, $6. And I said, I just needed 2. I've only got the 5. Unless you're going to lend me $1, I can't afford this third lottery ticket. First of all, depressing. I couldn't find another $1. But I said, I just wanted the 2. He's like, no problem. he fans them out and he goes, you pick the two that you want.
Oh.
And there's my dilemma.
Oh, my God.
I sit there, I go, this is how we're going to do this? You've already printed out one. You printed out 3. I go, this is a lot of pressure, Dave. He has his name tag on. This is a lot of pressure, bro. So now I'm haunted. So I picked 2, and I've got them in my pocket, but now I'm not going to stop thinking about the third one.
That is a daunting choice for Dave to have given you.
Oh, I think it is. When he said, I'll tell you what, I thought he was just going to give me one and say, I'll spot you the dollar and we'll split it, like that Nicolas Cage movie back in the 90s. You're too young for that, too. I think that one was called It Could Happen to You. You might have played some songs from the soundtrack in the last segment. And I'm just standing there, and there's people breathing down my neck because they want to buy the Mega Millions. But now I'm haunted that I'm going to see on Fox 9 later tonight that someone has won the Mega Millions lottery. It was a ticket sold at a Holiday in Eden Prairie, and it might not be mine. Like, what if those numbers that were selected by Dave meant for me? That's what I'm going to be thinking about, at least until the drawing happens.
And if you just miss out on a random number, that's no big deal. That's the nature of the lottery. But if you miss out because you made the wrong choice,
right?
How could you? I mean, you'd have to instantly enroll into therapy. How could you ever psychologically recover from that? That's the type of thing that would make someone turn into the Joker.
Because the lottery, by definition, is you have no control over it. Right. Now, I know some people do, they sit there and they pick their own numbers and they fill it in like you're taking a test, and then you give it to the person. Like, no one's got time for that.
Yeah.
I mean, for $1 billion, you think I can take a minute and a half to actually fill out a form? No, I couldn't. But now that so usually you don't even think about it. You just go, my numbers are my numbers. It's a lottery. It's like the 50-50 raffle at Target Center or the X or US Bank Stadium. Just throw some money at it and see what happens. But now, I feel like I'm almost speaking it into existence as well, that this is going to happen. And then the question is, do I have any legal ramifications? I don't think I would.
No, I don't think you would either. Could you sue? Take it to Judge Judy, maybe?
Well, I don't have any money for the attorneys.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
Yeah.
And these people behind me that may have won it, they've got the $1 billion. They're just going to wait me out. And I know it's probably half a billion after taxes, but it just immediately sent me the wrong way, where I just said, this isn't good. I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm almost positive at least one of these 3 is going to be the $1 billion lottery winner. Why wouldn't it be? And I've got to pick in front of all these people to keep the line moving, because that's one of my fears, too. I never like people waiting for me.
Oh, I hate that.
I like waiting in line.
I'll take cash out of my pocket 3 people behind when I'm in the line, just so I'm not making other people wait on me.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yep, keep it moving. So, anyway, I'm sure people are going to be thinking about me tonight when those balls drop and they get suction cupped in or whatever. But it's just it's going to haunt me for at least the next 12 hours. So I'm going to need you to pick me up, which you're usually pretty good at.
I'll try, but Dave might moonlight as Jigsaw from the Saw movies, because that's a sick and twisted choice to give somebody.
Oh, so you can use your check card, but you have to use your PIN. Okay, That's a good thought. I never knew that. I'm getting to that a couple of times to the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text. Well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Dave gave the ticket to somebody else. Yeah, Dave gave the ticket to somebody else, and that's information that I could have used about 3 hours ago, about 2 hours ago, which has just been sitting with me as I made the drive in here. And so I've got 2 tickets that I have no faith in, because I just know that the third one is, I guess, thankfully, he did separate the tickets where I wouldn't have to have gotten rid of all 3 of them. Like, I didn't ask, because when you get multiple tickets, they always say, do you want them on one?
Right.
Or do you want separate? I didn't ask. He just gave me the 2 separate ones. So I guess the silver lining is all 3 of my tickets weren't on one piece of paper. And we didn't have to start the whole process over, but still not feeling good right now. So I'm at about 50% at best today. We're going to try to muck through it until 6 o'clock. I mentioned we've got a bunch of guests, including Carl Gerbschmidt at the bottom of the hour. Ben Gessling's going to join. Russo's going to join in studio. And Lavelle E. Neal III will make his weekly Friday appearance as well. When we come back, though, do want to talk a little bit of Vikings-Packers. And something Harrison Phillips said last night that I listened to on my way home that I thought was interesting, that I hadn't really thought about, and is another little twist to this game against Green Bay on Sunday. All of that's coming up. Gaardsy in for Barrero. Some Vikings-Packers discussion when we come back.
Listen today for Carl Gerbschmidt's Lock of the Week, then post it on your social media with hashtag Gerby Lock of the Week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to this Sunday's border battle between the Vikings and Green Bay Packers.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
That's an unbelievable giveaway. And that's just out of the goodness of our own heart. That's not brought to you by anybody.
Nope.
That's not a sponsor saying. That's just KFAN and the Fan saying we want to reward people for listening to Carl Gerbschmidt about 15 minutes from now to go to, for my money, the biggest game that the Vikings and Packers have ever played.
Ever.
Which is 3:25 Sunday right here on the Fan, 1 o'clock pregame. Yeah, Gerby's coming up next. Lock of the week coming up next. Dan is going. I did text Dan to get his picks. You know, as you know, sometimes when one of us is gone, oftentimes we'll let whoever's filling in for us make the selections. This is December. There's 2 weeks left in the season.
Too much on the line.
Too much on the line. Dan, we're all basically within a couple of games. So I wanted to at least give Dan the opportunity to make selections for himself. So you're out of luck. You're not going to get to make the picks that are official, which is, I'm guessing, it's already a come down for you that you've had to move from this chair to that chair in like 10 minutes. You go from the top of the world over here to now you're back there.
I'm just back to being a regular guy again. Joe Schmo at the bottom of the line.
You've got all these texts that are glowing at the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line about how great you did for the last 3 hours, and now you got to sit there and listen to me talk about my lottery problems. It's depressing, isn't it?
It is depressing.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
It's a come down for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I'll be chasing that dragon for the rest of my life now, sitting in that chair.
Thank you for slumming it, and thank you for hanging for as long as you're going to hang today.
I'm used to the ghetto, baby.
We got Gerby, as I mentioned, about 10 minutes from now. But it is Vikings-Packers, and the closer that we get to the game, the more excited I get about it, the more nervous I get about it, just the stakes being so high. And we did get a text to the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line earlier that said the one stat we haven't heard anybody discuss is that Darnold is the 4th most sacked QB in the league, and Jordan Love is 38th most sacked. The Packers O-line is elite. This texter wants it in the PJ Fleck voice. Jordan Love has been sacked a total of 13 times in his last 18 games. It is a stat we haven't discussed a lot, but it is the game that I think is the most important part of the game. And I said it a little bit yesterday. I said it on TV today. What I think is going to dictate this game is the Flonami. Can Brian Flores' defense rattle Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers enough? I didn't check the latest on Christian Watson today. Probably could have asked Brett on the way out because I'm sure he has on whether or not he's going to play. That's a massive, up or down for Green Bay. But I don't think the Packers have much for JJ. I don't think the Packers have much for Addison. I think KOC is going to dial up some stuff where the Vikings are going to be able to score, especially with Jair Alexander, who that continues to get so curious. I don't know if you saw the quotes today. Probably not because you were in this chair, Max. But they asked again. Somebody asked Matt LaFleur basically, you say he's not ready. Is he not ready because he's not ready or because he's saying he's not ready, Jair Alexander, to play in this game? And LaFleur's response was the injury report will come out at 3.
Oh.
Which there's so much fire behind this smoke.
Yeah.
Like Sinekin said it yesterday, noon to 3. He doesn't think Alexander's ever going to play again. And Brett seems like devastated by it. Like, I get it that he was an all-pro and that you gave him a good contract 4 years ago, but the dude constantly misses games. There's always something with them, right?
Always.
It feels like a Jimmy Butler type situation right now, where there's all this stuff that just, can he play? Will he not play? Oh, Justin Jefferson scored a touchdown. Oh, I'm hurt. Like, got a little Xavier Rhodes to him a little bit, where you get says, I should have just locked up Justin Jefferson myself. I don't know why we did this zone defense. Kevin O'Connell responds on Viking X's and O's and says 2 years ago, well, actually, he was your guy here, and it was touchdown for the purple, more or less. Like, I just don't, there's so much talking about him that it's like at some point you just have to move on, don't you? And I kind of feels like that's what the Packers are doing. But I just don't feel like I don't feel like the Packers will have much for that part of it. I think the Vikings offense is going to be able to move the ball. I think they're going to be able to score. Darnold's playing great. We all know that. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a good game. I know that they've got a much better defense than they've had the last few years. They love their new coordinator. So to me, it all comes down to how uncomfortable are they going to make Jordan Love. And the sack number is one that jumped out to me as well, that teams have not really gotten to Jordan Love specifically the last 5 or 6 games. I think it's 3 sacks in the last 2 months.
Wow.
That the Packers have given up something
That's
like
insane.
that. And don't quote me 100% verbatim on it. We'll talk to Gessling about it when he comes in studio about an hour from now. But that's, to me, the ultimate test. And reading one of Kevin Seiferd's stories that he wrote today, typically Well, in the one rematch scenario that the Vikings have had this year, which admittedly is the Bears, so it's a small sample size because they haven't played the Lions a second time and they haven't played the Packers, obviously, a second time. They blitzed about 10% less the second time than they did the first time. And that might have been because they just said, we're not going to give Caleb an out. We're not going to give him a hot read. We're going to make him look around and see what's going on.
And Caleb gets sacked 5 million times a game. You don't even need to blitz.
Correct. And so Love is a different cat than Caleb, obviously. But I'm curious how that plays because it is, to me, all about which is it the Packers offense or the Vikings defense? Who gets the better of whom? Because I do think the Vikings are going to have enough offensively. It's just Green Bay's offense is on an absolute heater right now. 30-plus points the last 5 games. He's playing great. LaFleur's a total stud. Their running back is awesome. Josh Jacobs. They just pound it to him.
He's been a revelation for that offense.
Yeah,
I mean, they've almost turned into a run-first team at this point.
Especially early, from what we talked about yesterday. So that sack portion of it, I'm interested in because they can't let Jordan Love just hang back there and do it. Like their pressure has to work, I guess is the best way to put it. I know that's not breaking any news, but it's with all the stuff that Flores has done this season, there's been games, including last week, where the pressure wasn't really there until it was. Seattle is a great example of that to me last week. Geno Smith got sacked 7 times by Green Bay. So you're thinking,
Woof.
Vikings are coming in, Flo's going to have something for him. He really didn't until the end of the game when they finally got some pressure on him, and then all of a sudden the mistakes came. So can he keep the Packers offense off balance enough to let the Vikings offense cook the way I think it can? That, to me, is the biggest question of the game. The other thing that I hadn't thought about until I was driving home last night was just the mental part of this game with all of the stakes. This has been a pretty easy ride or a free ride this year because nobody expected the Vikings to do anything. So from the fans' perspective, for me, this has all been found money. This has all been just gravy on any expectation that I had for this season. I didn't have high expectations. We can go over it. We all said it. They got to beat the Giants week 1 or they're staring 0-7 right in the face. Well, that was stupid, obviously, because they didn't lose until they lost to Detroit, and then they lost to L.A., and then they haven't lost since then. So that was a bad take. We all missed on that one.
It happens.
No, yeah, every once in a while we didn't see Sam Darnold becoming generational all of a sudden. Apologies for that. But it's fun when unexpected fun seasons are, to me, the most fun because you have no expectation, you have no real stake or pressure, and you just enjoy the ride. And that's what I've done this year. And it was interesting to hear Harrison Phillips say this last night with Tatum Everett on the Vikings podcast, which you can hear from 6 to 6:30 every Thursday night, that the pressure even feels different for them in the building, and one of the important things that they have to do is find a way to manage that. Listen to this.
Even though in the building we genuinely believe in training camp that this was a roster that could accomplish something great. We genuinely believe that. I believe that in my core. But as you're doing it with no expectation, it is so fun. It is freeing. It's chilling. Like there is no expectation for us. If we go 3-2 to start the year, 4-1, 5-0, like it doesn't really matter. Like we're just winning and no one has any expectations for us. Well, as the season's now getting closer to an end, it's starting to get a little tighter with some of that expectations that are, surrounding us. And I think it's also like, we always believe these things, but now it's like, well, the belief is now real. And when we, thought in that swag about us of trying to win an NFC championship or winning the North, all of a sudden you say, well, you're 10 days away from accomplishing something like that. And so it's a little bit tighter. And as a leader and captain, I'm trying to keep us that same relaxed feel, but also give the urgency to players that, this thing's not going to come back again. Next year's team won't be this team. The collection of people who are having career years and certain years and the puzzle pieces that have come together for this exact moment, it's not going to be replicable. So just having a great time, but also feeling the urgency and trying to accomplish what we can.
First of all, love the honesty from the player.
Yeah.
'Cause most players, they always say it's like any other week. You got to take it 1-0. You want to be 1-0 in the Green Bay Packers championship season. That's all we can do. That's all we can control. I love the honesty of Harrison Phillips saying, we feel it. We know what's at stake. We know that if we win the last 2 games, we're the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I also liked the realization, and the Timberwolves are a great example of this. Next year's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like every year is its own year. Every year is its own puzzle. And once 1 year gets done, you don't just leave the puzzle set up the way it is and come back to it in August and go, oh, we just need a piece here, a piece there. Whole puzzle gets blown up. Even if it's just one little section, it might be a critical section. And the Wolves are going through that right now, much to Max and my chagrin, that you don't just get to run it back and start in the Western Conference Finals. You've got to build it all the way back up, and you've got to get the regular season out of the way. It's not going well for the Timberwolves. We have no idea what the Vikings are going to look like next year. And it's interesting that you hear that coming from the locker room, that they have no idea, like we have no idea who their quarterback's going to be next year. Whoever it is, even if it's Darnold again, we have no idea if he's going to play as well as he's played. We don't know if Aaron Jones is going to be back. We don't know defensively who they're going to have. We don't know if Flo's going to be here.
Right.
So I loved it that he was honest about the urgency and the pressure. And it is a much different pressure as a player when you know what is at stake and things are expected of you. The line we're going with for the pick segment, next segment, the DraftKings line, is the Vikings are favored again. They started favored, then they weren't. Now they're a 1.5 favored according to DraftKings. I'll double check it before we start, but they're expected via Vegas they're favored at home in Week 17. The pressure's on them as the home team to continue it and give themselves an opportunity for the NFC North. That's different than just winging it in September and October, as Harrison said, when no one's really expecting much of you and everything's fun. Oh, we beat the Texans. Nobody thought that would happen. Oh, we beat the Niners with Brock Purdy and all those guys. No one thought that would happen. You would know this. I would know this. It's different when we're just hanging out on the Power Trip morning show, just being a little bit piece, right? And just trying to do one at a time. When you get in this chair and it's all on you, it's a different pressure.
It's a whole different kind of pressure.
You got to bring it, and you got to bring it differently, and it hits different. It's just the nature of the beast. So I'm curious to see how the Vikings handle that, because this is a different opportunity than they've been faced with the entire season. When they played these good teams earlier in the season, they could be more freewheeling. Nobody was really expecting them to win. Then they had the stretch that we all looked at as the place where they could make their money. They did by beating a lot of bad teams. They weren't necessarily perfect in that. I'm thinking about the road games where Darnold didn't play very well. Now they've reestablished themselves playing pretty well in all of the phases, but with that comes the pressure and the responsibility of a massive NFC North game this Sunday. So I'm excited to see how all of them respond to that different kind of pressure. We'll see how Gerby's feeling. It's Friday on a holiday week. I'm guessing he's going to be feeling pretty good. I'm guessing he's not going to be feeling a lot of pain. We'll see. We'll also see if there's anything new at PackerFanConnections.com now that all the lawsuits have been dropped. Gerby with the pick segment coming up next.
40, he could go, 50, intercepted, and a touchdown to the 10, he will score.
It's time for the Bumper to Bumper award-winning NFL prediction segment on the Fan, brought to you by Continental Diamond. Now, to help you break down this week's games, here's your favorite NFL wonk, Dan Barrero.
Dan out, Gaardsy in, Max Fuller here as well, and we go right to the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. Carl Gerbschmidt joins us for the NFL pick segment. We always respect the segment, especially when there's a title on the line, and the standings have tightened. I'm completely free-falling. More on that in a minute, but we welcome Gerby to the conversation. Happy holidays, Carl. I hope the week has been going well.
How you doing, John?
I'm well. How was Christmas at the Gerbschmidt household?
It's pretty good. I had a little sniffle because we got kind of caught a cold when we were wassailing the other week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. How did that go? Did you get the turnout you were expecting?
100%. Actually, we had a couple extra people show up, and we had to turn them away.
No. I thought you were all inclusive. I thought you were. What's the word I'm looking for? I thought you brought people together. I thought that was the point of the whole bit at PackerFanConnections.com.
Yeah, but there's only so many spots on a toboggan, Jordan.
I suppose you're right.
I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I hadn't thought about the toboggan.
Well, you don't want to kick somebody off one because some other bozo showed up and wasn't supposed to be there.
How was the boozy train ride or whatever that one picture was? Were there any incidents on that?
What are you talking about? I mean, you're talking about the it's not really a hay ride because there's no hay there.
Right.
It was the party train into the woods, and it was it was romantic.
Romantic.
Because we only played Christmas carols that were kind of romantic ones. Kind of like Baby It's Cold Outside.
I was going to say, you didn't do Baby It's Cold Outside, did you? I don't think that one plays well. Didn't they change the lyrics to that?
I don't know.
They were supposed to.
It was pretty hot to me. It worked like a. I'll tell you what. Around the holidays, people get. I'm trying to think of the right word for it.
Rambunctious?
Horny. That's what it is. and so it was a very fun evening, Jordan.
Are you familiar? Have you ever been on a booty cruise with Dave Ryan? I don't know if they do them anymore. It's the booty cruise.
I don't even know who that is.
He's on I Love Radio. You can on KDWB. He's Hall of Famer. He's a legend. But the booty cruise, I used to intern.
I don't. You know,
it sounds a little booty cruisy.
I don't listen to the radio for music. I listen to it for like sports and news.
Okay. How is it hard to shop for Randy?
Yeah, kind of. Because, well, one, you have to hide the gifts really well because he goes on like a search and destroy me. You have to like hide him in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's going through the closet. He went through the closets. He went to the storage room. He went through the attic. He went through the garage.
He doesn't have the discipline, huh?
He does not like to be surprised.
What'd you get him?
I got a pack of jersey.
There's a shock. Which one?
Edgerrin Cooper, number 56.
You never see him coming.
You don't see him coming.
So I was at PackerFanConnections.com. Do you know Max, by the way? Have you met Max? I don't know if he's ever filled in when I'm gone. It's usually Brett Blakemore.
You mean Marty? Marty was the guy on the phone? Marty.
Yeah. He hosted the noon to 3 show. I thought he did a pretty good job.
No, I didn't listen to it.
Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot, Carl.
But I told him he's got to go.
I'm a supervisor. I'm busy.
You guys are working this week?
Because, Jordan, the roads are always there. Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
always there, Jordan.
I have.
You have to have like a rotating. Now, am I working a full day? No. Not working full days.
No,
but you know,
you'll be surprised. Max and I are the only ones here right now, or Marty. We're the only ones in the building right now. It feels like COVID when we had the pandemic and we were the only ones here.
Someone asked if I was going to be on the show today, and I said, of course I was. I said, but you know, everybody at your radio station is lazy and stupid.
Not us.
They get that from the management.
Not us.
So. I'm sure your managers aren't there.
No, the dark offices. I mean, it's pitch black over there. It's just pitch black on the management side. You're going to get yourself in trouble. I don't know why you keep doing this. We've tried to warn you.
What are you talking about, John?
Well, with your latest event, and it's not even the event, it's, again, the pictures. And Dan,
PackerFanConnections.com New Year's Eve blowout?
Yeah, the New Year's Eve blowout. I'm at PackerFanConnections.com, and Dan's not even here to defend himself, so I feel like I have to defend his honor, which I don't really think that's in the job description, but I guess it is, because you can't keep using his pictures with these women on PackerFanConnections.com. You've already had one lawsuit.
Not necessarily his picture. There's lots of people that look like that.
There's nobody that looks like that. There's one person that looks like that, and it's Dan, and you not only have him with two gals, well, it's the same two gals in different poses, and you hear Marty in the background. I don't think you can keep. He knows a lot of lawyers. I know you're related to one, but he knows a lot of them.
I've been told I am completely safe on this one.
I don't. Maybe on the top
in the
one.
Year, Dan was saying that's a great idea.
I don't think
what Dan said.
No, I don't.
We have actual audio. We went back to your thing and we pulled it off your I Love Radio.
No, that's got to be AI. Thing. No, you definitely didn't pull it off the podcast.
No, we have it where Dan said that's a great idea.
No, he's never been okay with you using his picture. Certainly with these two and the faces that he's making. You're going to get yourself in trouble.
What do you mean?
Well, the face on the top one. I mean,
in Gerby's defense, Dan looks like he's having a great
on
time.
The top who's not Dan?
No, that's Dan. That's definitely. Now I know it's weird.
Very happy, don't you think?
Well, I know people are going to say.
I don't know what those gals are looking at, but
well, I think that's where you're going to get yourself in trouble, and you've already had to fend off at least one lawsuit because of this endeavor. I'm just looking out for you. No, but I don't think you need another one to start 2025.
I think we'll be okay.
Now, where
So
you?
far, this is going real well. This is a good marketing campaign.
I bet it is.
We're getting a lot of sign-ups on this one.
I bet you might. And where you might be safe is I've never seen Dan wear pants like that before. He's more of a sweatpants kind of guy. Maybe
So
jeans.
he's not Dan, right there. So he's
Yeah.
not Dan.
The second picture, though, I'm pretty sure you didn't do any doctoring to the second one.
What do you mean?
It's him. I think I was at the photo shoot when he took this picture that you're using. In between, not one.
No, it's number one. That guy in that picture was a lot younger than Dan.
Well, it was a while ago. Yeah, it's an old picture. I will give you that. The one in the bottom.
Yeah, he looks a lot younger than Dan. And he's trying to decide which girl to date.
It's a tough choice.
Been
It
there.
is kind in that picture, it sure is.
Yeah, it's a tough choice. Yeah, the top one. I think you're playing with fire here. I really do.
I think the gal with the shortest skirts is going to end up with.
Well, so here's which one is shorter? I can't even tell.
The one on the bottom?
The one on the left. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong picture. The one on the top, they're both equally as short. So anyway, by the way, so this is for New Year's Eve, the New Year's Eve
Yeah,
blowout.
for New Year's Eve. Yeah.
I'm going to be in
And we have
Madison,
hotel rooms all set aside.
but you have to pay for those. It's $129 a person. I'm just reading. I'm confused by a lot of this.
All the beer you can drink, plus 2 cocktails. Plus there's a champagne toast. We're only getting 1 glass of champagne.
Okay.
We're not going to, pour bottles and bottles of it.
Kind of sounds like a ripoff. If hotels are on you and then it's a cash bar after that for $129
We're
a
getting all
person.
these people together. We got a karaoke machine.
Oh, you're doing karaoke again? You're still doing
We're gonna
that?
play pack of trivia.
Packer trivia?
Yeah. Vodka pong.
Yeah, vodka pong does not sound smart.
What do you mean?
It doesn't sound smart and it doesn't sound safe.
You can't put your eye out with a ping pong ball.
No, but
Jordan.
you can get alcohol poisoning if you're in some random hotel in Madison. I just don't know if that's the smartest play.
It's one of the finer hotels in Madison.
Is
I
it-
can't disclose the
Is it
location.
the Edgewater? Edgewater's nice. Have you ever stayed at the Edgewater?
I can't disclose the location, Jordan, because otherwise we'll get a bunch of people showing up who aren't paying the $129.
I'm going to be in Madison on New Year's Eve. I have Gopher women's basketball
You wanna
duties.
stop by?
We play the Badgers on New Year's Eve. The game's at 3:30. What time is this thing supposed to
we have
start?
a picture of some guy who looks a little like
Yeah,
you,
I know. I feel like I
and we
should.
can put that up on the website.
Yeah, I feel like I should be invited, given you're also using my picture.
Will you be a celebrity?
It depends. We have to talk finances. We don't do anything for free. We're not allowed to
We
do
won't
anything.
charge you.
I'm not. I don't think I'm allowed to cut side deals either. I'm pretty sure. Max, are we allowed to cut side
I don't
deals like
think. I
this?
don't think we are.
Yeah, I have an appearance tonight at Tom's Watch Bar. If you want to come to that,
For what?
just watch some sports, watch some games,
What sports are on tonight?
hockey and basketball.
Well, who cares?
Can you take me through pin the tail on the Boars fan?
Yeah, it's kind of, you got a guy who looks, a picture of a guy who looks like Ditka.
I bet that was
And-
tough.
And because that's what most Bear fans look like, Ditka,
Yeah.
including the women.
Oh, come on.
And
Now,
so we
stop,
have some
stop
tails
that.
and whoever can
Stop
get-
that.
What?
Don't be like that. Don't say it. It's not the season for that. Not this month. Come on.
What are you talking
That's
about?
not. It's not. Don't speak about Chicago Bear fans like that. The women. Come on. You're better than that, Gerby. They don't look like Ditka.
The thing is, they're not, but that's, Look, Jordan, I'm just telling it like it is. If you can't handle it, I didn't realize you were such a Boys fan.
I'm not, but I don't feel
Thought
like.
you were like a Minnesota fan.
Well, I know this. I've never seen a Packer fan look like the ones pictured with Dan. I know that. I've been to Lambeau a handful of times.
Those guys are Packer fans.
I doubt it. I've never seen them.
You know the name Aunt J. Utgard?
Yes, I do.
she's a Packer fan.
Meatball went on a date with her in California, I
She's a
think.
Packer fan.
Is
She's
she?
a Packer fan.
Yeah. Well, how come you can't get her to come to this?
It's about a $10,000 fee.
Yeah. For you need a hotel room. Here are the options. Yes, no, for a while, and I sure hope so. Can you give us any analytics on?
We're trying to get accurate count.
So by what? By the hour? Is that an option at this one
We're
of
trying to get an accurate count about how many rooms are in need.
one of the finest hotels in Madison is up for the hourly rental? Is that the place that you found?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Well,
it doesn't say that anywhere on here. You are extrapolating.
For a while. It says what else can I extrapolate from
A couple days.
a
I
while?
don't know. Who knows, Jordan?
A couple days? I don't think anybody wants to stay in Madison a couple days.
Hanging loose. You know what I mean?
You ever, I shouldn't even say it. For hanging loose? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. And you got Madden, too, it looks like, on a huge screen. This really sounds
Some
great.
people, that was not my idea. I didn't think that was a lot of fun. But playing Madden on a huge screen. But you don't get to be the Packers every time.
So, Packer fan, you don't, why? That makes no sense.
You can't. Everybody wants to be the Packers. Everybody can't be the Packers. You got to play against someone else.
Well, yeah, if you're playing against somebody, yeah. But you could just play the computer, couldn't you? Couldn't you just put it on?
That's the whole thing. You play. It's
You could put it on easy
you
mode.
Play against maybe the lady you might be interested in.
Yeah, I know a lot of women just love lining up Madden. Max, has that been your experience too?
That's what when I need to set the mood, I dim the lights down low.
Yeah,
I turn on some Al Green and I fire up the Xbox.
Is Church still down the hall? We can bring, the former host of Video Games Weekly. We talk about how many times the mood was set when you were playing Madden. Oh, but by the way, you can't be the Packers every time. I don't feel like
not every time.
I don't.
You got. Yeah, someone has to play against the Packers.
I don't feel like you're putting your best foot forward here. I'm not convinced any women are actually coming to these things. This seems like a fraternity party, like at the University of Madison, where women are not invited, nor would they show up. Do any women come to these? Do any women come to these events?
We are very close to 50-50 participation.
At this point,
very close.
So is it like 5 men to 2 women?
No, it's not. Why do you guys think that this is not working out for me? Because it's working out great. I'm making money hand over fist.
Well, we know that. I mean, is anybody making fan connections, though? Is anybody... The idea of this was to bring people together.
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of people. I think that I happen to know for a fact, I don't get in trouble for saying this, but it's supposed to be a surprise. There's going to be a proposal at this one.
Really? Is that before or after the cheese raffle?
Probably after.
Gonna get the cheese raffle out of the way?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. What are the appetizers?
But before midnight, probably.
Yeah, or at midnight. Why not? Well, everybody would be still drunk by then if you're playing vodka pong.
Well, not everybody can play.
Man. Does this interest you, Max? Do you have any New Year's plans?
I think I'm gonna have to go down to Madison.
If you want to ride with my family and me over to Madison, we're going to be over there. Yeah, my kids would love hanging with you.
I was on the fence, but
Marty, will you be a celebrity?
Sure. Yeah. Can I wear my kimono?
Is that dress that you were wearing before?
yeah, pretty much. It was that dress.
Look, Marty, I don't want to tell you, you do what you want to do, Marty, but a lot of times the gals don't go for guys wearing better dresses than they're wearing. You know what I mean?
I mean, that hasn't been my experience.
That's just a hint. That's a hint from me to you.
Yeah,
I'm already married.
I don't think he needs your help.
You're the love guru, Gerby. So I'm writing it down. I got my pen out right now. I'm gonna write that down. I'm retiring the kimono.
I would try to get kind of like a brightly colored suit.
Oh, okay. You got any more tips?
Don't wear a shirt in there.
What other tips do you got for getting women?
He rarely wears a shirt.
Well, that's probably smart. No, I'm sure Marty does this great.
He seems to.
I want to hear your advice.
Games this week? Are you guys just going to grill me?
We're not grilling you. I had a lot of questions because, again, I'm worried about this whole endeavor. I really am. And I'm
not worried at all. We're making a lot of money.
Yeah. For now, I just worry at what cost.
KFANconnections.com. Go now.
Yeah, $129 a person. All you can drink beer plus 2 free drinks. And then if you need more, it's a cash bar after that. So if you drink all the beer you can and then 2 free drinks, then it's cash bar and you have to pay for a hotel room. But the nice thing is apparently it's pay as you go for this particular
I'm not
high-end
hotel room situation. That's a separate negotiation. Now, I have nothing to do with that.
All right, let's get to the games. I'm free falling. I'm absolute free fall. I was 0 for 3 last week, so now I'm in last place, 25 and 23. Don't sing too much of the song because we can't put it in the podcast. Remember, I told you that last week. Dan was 2-1 a week ago. He's 26 and 22. He's 2 games behind Gerby, who's on a late season heater. 2-1 a week ago is now 28 and 20. We will start with.
That sounds like if you were to bet money using my advice, you'd probably be rich.
You could afford this $129 a person, 7-person party at one of the best hotels in Madison.
It's not 7. No, it's not.
Where there'll be at least one woman, I think.
I'm going to take pictures, Jordan, and you're going to have to eat your words later on.
I'm going to find out where this is because I might stop by after the basketball game on New Year's Eve before we head back. I might stop by.
Will you actually host a cheese raffle for us?
I'm not going to host a cheese raffle, and I'm not going to play Madden either. That doesn't. Seems like the line's going to be a little bit too long at Madden. The Lions are on the road.
I'll write you down for some vodka pong.
The Lions are 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Niners. I will go first because I'm in last place. It's hard to believe in the Niners at any point this year. Certainly lately, the Lions have a lot to play for. Obviously, they're trying to lock up the number 1 seed. I think the Lions get that done, as does Dan. He picks the Lions. I texted Dan this week, Gerby, because it's close. We're in the playoffs here, basically, for the pick segment of the regular season. I wanted him to be able to make the picks and not have to put that on Marty. So Dan and I both take the Lions. Carl, what do you say?
Yeah, the problem is that San Francisco is probably not trying real hard right now.
Right.
But it is in San Francisco. And San Francisco is 12-1 straight up in the last 13 games against Detroit. That's a good trend. But the problem is Detroit is 12-1 straight up in its last 13 games, period. So you kind of... And they're 5-0 in their last 5 games on the road. I don't... And the problem is if Detroit wins, we can't win the division.
Well, you're not winning the division, so don't worry about that.
Well, I'll take Detroit.
All right, Gerby takes the Lions. Washington at home.
I didn't want to take Detroit.
Washington, a 4.5-point favorite. The Commanders over the Falcons. All of these teams.
That was going to be my lock of the week. Now I have to come up with a different one.
Well, you can make it your lock of the week.
No, I have to come with a different one now.
Okay. Well, there's not a lot of good games I didn't see, and some of them have already happened, so there wasn't a ton this week. The Commanders and the Falcons. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I believe in Michael Penix. That's too many points. I don't know if they're going to win that game, but Washington has kind of slowed their roll just a little bit. I had an interesting one last week, but I'm going to take the Falcons to make things interesting and cover that spread. That's what Dan is taking as well. Gerby, what about you?
Oh, no, it's not going to. Washington is going to win the game.
Well, I know
and
that.
And they're going to win by a lot.
Okay.
That was going to be my lock of the week, but now I can't do that. Thanks a lot.
Well, you've got some time to think about it. In fact, before we get to the big game, I'm going to make you do the lock of the week now.
It's Carl Gerbschmidt's Lock of the Week.
Listen and use the hashtag Gerby Lock of the Week. The prize at stake, tickets to Vikings Packers this Sunday, U.S. Bank Stadium.
What?
Vikings Packer tickets this Sunday, U.S. Bank Stadium. By the way, I didn't even ask you.
I had to pay for mine.
I assume you're coming in, right?
Yeah, of course. It was easy to get tickets.
Oh, they're expensive. So no wonder you're charging $129.
No, not really. We got ours at face value.
I doubt it. But, so listen for Gerby's Lock of the Week.
All you want, mister, but that's the way it was.
Use the hashtag Gerby Lock of the Week with whatever Carl comes up with here. You'll be entered to win tickets to, for my money, the biggest Vikings-Packer game ever. And yes, to the texters, that includes the times they played in the playoffs, because I never thought the Vikings were championship worthy the years that they played those in the playoffs. But anyway, go ahead, Gerby.
Wait, and you think they are now?
Oh, they are. It's without a doubt. It's a fact.
You say what you want. We'll get to that in a second. I think that we took a lot out of New Orleans last week. I think we kind of beat them up and kind of left them laying there.
I'm not sure they had much to begin with. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were already on the road.
We took a lot out of them, and I think that I hate picking Las Vegas because they're not very good. But I think Las Vegas, I get 1.5 points. So I will take. No, wait. I have to give a 1.5. Okay, I'll do it anyway. Las Vegas -1.5 over New Orleans is my lock of the week.
Man, that is a degenerate lock of the week. No one has thought about that game at all except you. But I guess we did steal your original lock. So Vegas.
Took my original lock right away.
So Vegas covers over New Orleans. That is your lock of the week. Go to social media. Go to Twitter. Use the hashtag Gerby Lock of the Week. Tell us what Gerby's lock was. You are entered to win tickets to the Vikings and the Packers. That's the game we will pick last. The spread we're going with is the most recent one. This thing has bounced back and forth. On DraftKings, they have the Vikings rightfully installed again as 1.5 favorites. The Vikings are giving 1.5 points to the Packers, according to the latest odds this day. They will easily cover the 1.5. The Vikings will have everything that they need with JJ, with JA, with TJ, with Sam Darnold. Flonami will take over Love Island. I don't care if Christian Watson is playing. I don't care if Jair Alexander is not playing. He has rarely played against the Vikings. He has rarely played the last 4 seasons. Carl, you might want to call him and see if he's available to be your celebrity at PackerFanConnections.com's New Year's Bash, because I don't think he's ever going to play for the team again. So you might want to get one more, charity event out of him. The Vikings will easily cover the 1.5 and set up the showdown game against the Detroit Lions next Sunday or Saturday at Ford Field. Dan disagrees. He's taking the Packers. I have a feeling where you're going, Gerby, but the floor is yours.
Here's the thing: is that you guys in Minnesota, you get yourself all hyped up. You get yourself thinking that, hey, we must be pretty good because we're 13-2. Well, yeah, there's a lot of teams that have that record. It doesn't mean they ain't good.
There are?
I mean, Detroit,
1.
Philadelphia,
2.
they're like 1 game back of that.
Yeah.
So
Kansas City.
They're not that good. Kansas City cheats, I think. Anyway, the thing is you don't stop the run very well.
That's true.
And there's statistics. I see statistics that says you guys are like one of the most sacked teams in the league.
Yeah.
And you can't run the ball. That means the offensive line's still not very good.
It's a little leaky.
Especially without the left tackle.
There's
got some guy in there now. And you're not very good there. And here's what I'll say. This might be the nicest thing I say. I don't think you have bad coaches. I don't think your coaches are bad.
It's quite a compliment.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
But I don't think your players are very good.
Oh.
I mean, everybody says how your JJ is better than our JJ. I'll take our JJ any day of the week. Our JJ is a stud. He's going to run for, I think.
Is your JJ Josh Jacobs?
Yards. Josh Jacobs,
yeah,
JJ.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
He's probably going to run for 200 yards.
200.
And then you guys think you got the greatest receivers in the whole world? Have you heard of Jaden Reed? Huh?
No.
Have you heard of Dontavian Wicks? Huh? Have you heard of Romeo Dobbs? Have you heard of Tucker Kraft? I mean, I'm just telling you, is you guys think that you're so good. And you're not. You're not that good. You can run on you. You can pass on you. You get lucky at the end of a game.
Lucky.
Is it you think you're good? You're not. And we've been playing better for the last half of the season.
Really challenging schedule.
The halftime of the time we played you.
Mm-hmm.
We suddenly realized, hey, we're better than this team. Now, we didn't get all the way back the first time, but we've been playing better ever since. And so we're going to play better. I don't think this game's close. I really don't. I think it's about 17 points or more. We're going to win this game going away, and you guys will not be playing for first place next week.
Have you
not playing
heard of Ivan Pace Jr.? Ivan Pace
I think I have.
Jr.
I think I've heard of him.
You're going to see him Sunday. He's listed as questionable.
You're going to see Edgerrin Cooper on Sunday.
You're going to see him Sunday.
Coop.
Oh, you stole the John Kuhn for him? You're running that back? That's creative.
No, Coop is very different.
Oh, it's different. All right, we got to go. We're late as usual. Good luck on New Year's Eve.
PackerFanConnections.com for New Year's Eve.
If you want to play Madden with a bunch of dudes on New Year's Eve and have a cheese raffle, go to PackerFanConnections.com. Ben Gessling about 15 minutes from now. A little Wolves talk with Maxo when we come back.